We're always constantly talking about what Albuquerque has to offer as far as greatness, but in today's video, I got something interesting to go over with you guys, and it's going to be some of the top things that I personally don't like about Albuquerque. So grab your pen and your pad, and as always, let's get right into today's video. We're always talking about what Albuquerque has to offer in terms of, livability, affordability, quality of life, and everything that it has to offer as far as its landscape goes. Now, in today's video, I thought, well, let's flip it on its head just a little bit and talk about some of the things that, you might not like when it comes to moving down here to the great Southwest. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over, a few topics: high winds, temperature fluctuations, and just a few other things that I personally just feel like you guys should know. And if this is your first time tuning in, guys, I gotta say welcome. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any videos, because we are dropping videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque and the different cities around us here in New Mexico have to offer. And I just got to be fully transparent with you guys. As much as I love doing these videos, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So if you are planning on moving down here within the next 30, 60, or 90 days, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails. So if you guys are wondering what life is like down here, or you want to hop on a quick Zoom call just to go over all the different areas and potentially find a house for you to purchase down here in Albuquerque or somewhere in New Mexico, we would love to help you do that. So let's get right into today's video with the first topic. Number one on this list, guys, is the high winds. I hate them, and a bunch of people do as well. And I don't want to sound so negative that you're gonna get these hurricane winds. It can happen from time to time, but to be honest with you guys, the winds just blow everything, and people like me who struggle with allergies just die when the winds start to pick up, because it picks up everything within the dirt and it just moves everything around the air that you're just gonna be sneezing, dry-eyed, and watery-eyed like me. And if you are like me, you're gonna spend a majority of your time inside when it is super windy, which isn't a bad thing, to be honest with you guys, just because sometimes you do need life just to tell you, hey, take a pause, take a little bit of a rest, enjoy what you've built, the fruits of your labor, and rest for a little bit, right? And I think that's just Mother Nature's way of just telling us, like, hey, you're working too hard, take a little bit of a break. But outside of that, guys, the high winds here can blow everything and just make everything suck, especially when all that dirt and dust gets picked up. You get sandblasted, you can't even roll with the windows down. For me, such an inconvenience, but it's not gonna be all year round. It's mainly around the spring, heading into the summertime, that it gets super bad, and then a couple of days here and there throughout the year. But other than that, it's not gonna be terrible. It's not gonna be these hurricane winds all the time. It's just gonna get a little bit windy from time to time. All right, now let's talk about temperature fluctuations. Now, living in the high desert climate, the temperatures fluctuate throughout the day. In the morning time, it is gonna be a little chilly. Throughout the day, it is gonna get warm, and then the temperatures drop in the evening. So you are gonna be wearing layers of clothes. You might as well be carrying a duffel bag just for all the different outfits that you're gonna need throughout the day. Now, I'm over exaggerating, but it does feel like that sometimes, because in the morning, you're just gonna want a nice little light jacket, sweater, and then towards the evening, you're gonna wanna take it off just because it starts to get warm, it starts to get hot. And then good enough for you that if you do have somewhere to put all this stuff, or you just don't mind carrying it, you're not gonna have an issue. But a guy like me, I already carry so much stuff as it is in my pockets that when I have to carry around a sweater on my arm or wrap it around me or whatever, it's just more of an annoyance, because I got extra stuff on my person, and then I gotta make sure that I don't lose it as well, or put it down somewhere and just forget all about it. But if you aren't gonna be annoyed by that, you're okay with the fluctuation of temperatures, and I just gotta be honest with you guys, it's not as bad as I'm making it seem. It's just, for me, all the layers that you have to put on throughout the day, take on. That's the whole reason why I wear shorts and a hoodie, just because it helps me regulate my own temperature, and it's pretty much a style down here. So if you're just like me and you just want to be comfortable, you are going to be able to do that down here. Fashion is big down here, but it's all about preference and your own personal style. So it's not going to be all trendy and all this stuff. So don't worry about, hey, does this layer look good? Is it going to be what everybody else is kind of digging? If you find an article of clothing that is comfortable to you and it makes you feel good and it regulates your body temperature throughout the day very well, then you're going to be just fine. But let's get into this next topic. Maybe I'm being lazy, but I hate the fact that everything is so spread out around here. If I need a one-off item or I need something that is not on the west side, and majority of the time it's not, I have to travel all the way to the east side just to get it. Now, you are going to be an average travel time of 15 to 20 minutes, which isn't bad, but when you live here, you just wish that something was just down the street. For me, I can walk to the store and get my groceries. I don't do it because my wife makes me do the Walmart pickup because for whatever reason she thinks it's a lot faster. I beg to differ because I can go into the store, get the list, and get out within the same time frame that they're bringing it in, because sometimes I'm there for an hour. But that's besides the point. Now, everything is just going to be maybe 15 to 20 minutes away from you guys, so if travel times are a bother to you, you're going to want to sit down and think about exactly what area you're going to want to move to. And again, that number popping up on the screen, guys, is my direct line. And some people don't like that I interject this, but I want to remind you guys that we are here to help you find that right area, help you find that right house that is going to be within all the convenience that you need, whether it's healthcare, stores, shopping, whatever, outdoor lifestyle. We love to help you find that area because really each side of town offers its own convenience and own lifestyles to a certain point. The east side's super close to the mountains, so you are going to be spending a lot of time outdoors. The west side's kind of like the same, except it's just a little hotter because it's more of a desert climate. And then of course the south and the north valleys are just going to be this ranch style living because you have the Bosque, you have the Rio Grande, and a bunch of different ranches around you. So it's a little bit slower pace, one lane roads, and you are just going to be kind of slowed down, kind of chilling out for the majority of the time. So whatever your lifestyle is like, we like to make sure that, hey, if 15 to 20 minutes is an inconvenience to you, how can we get you closer to that area within your price range and within your wants and needs? And with that being said, guys, Albuquerque is just a little bit behind the curve, right? And some of the surrounding cities are as well. Now, this isn't a bad thing, but for me, sometimes I feel like there's not enough for me to either do here or enough for me to use as far as resources go to be able to grow my business or what I'm doing. Sometimes I get reminded that, hey, this is for me, the slow down, sustainable way of living is just serving me so much because I've lived in other places like New York and, you know, these other larger cities where everything is fast paced and moving so fast that sometimes you just can't catch a breath. Now down here, like this past weekend, I pretty much put my business on pause and spent a lot of time with family, went fishing, did the whole kind of like normal living, which a lot of people don't get in a sense because their quality of life is just a little off balance and it's a little bit more work than play. Down here, you can live a little bit of a balanced lifestyle. But I still wish that some things were just a little bit ahead of the curve, like infrastructure and just our highway systems. I wish we had a little bit more just to make it a lot easier to navigate through the city without having to deal with so much traffic. But I can see that happening in the near future just because of how much we're growing. With Rio Rancho and Las Lunas, just having more people move to these areas and more businesses coming in to be able to establish themselves, I can see that at least within the next 10 years, we're gonna have a better structure as far as our living goes. All right, wrapping this video up, the last bit of annoyance that I have here is with the real estate game. In our world, the average home, of course, I can tell you guys right now in the summer of 2024 runs around $350,000. Now that's average, but the problem that I have is the diversity in homes is not gonna be so big. For the majority, you're gonna see this constant kind of cookie cutter style house, Southwest style home, a lot of browns, a lot of, you know, greens, all that stuff where it really gives into the landscape. For me, browns and all that stuff is kind of like neutral, kind of homey, but sometimes it gets boring. When you're seeing all these different style houses like in Texas, Idaho, California, where they're really reviving these old styles of mid-century modern and stuff like that, to have just a basic ranch style Southwest home here and it's just a constant, you're just seeing the same home over and over again just in a different area, and just at a little bit of a different price point. So again, guys, when it comes to moving down here, I recommend that you give us a quick call, shoot us a quick text. And again, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line, because I'd love to help you find that one, because there is some pockets here in Albuquerque where the homes just get totally different. Sometimes they're a little bit older, but when you're getting this unique house in a unique area that you would have never even thought of, just because you're only doing these searches on Zillow. And if you go down into the description, our website link is there. Go ahead and search some homes. Feel free to reach out to us and let us know exactly what you're looking for, because you may never know exactly where you're going to want to be, especially if you're fresh and new to the area. But with that being said, guys, the diversity in homes, there is some, but not a whole lot. Some of the trends are starting to pick up here as far as like open concept, more of a ranchy kind of style house with grays and exposed beams and all that stuff. But it's not as fast as we would like to see it, and you're still paying a pretty premium for those houses, around $500,000. So if you're not too sure exactly what you're looking for, please feel free to hit us up. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of my week. I'll see you guys on Friday. If there's anything we can do for you guys, feel free to hit us up. We'll talk to you guys on Friday. Peace.